portfolio of video activities, I can show the work done during the semester about my evolution in the pronunciation using the proposed grammar for each unit. In the same way, you can also observe the knowledge that I was acquiring each week about every topic and unit. Today I'm going to talk about my future and what I want to be, and other things like the city that I will meet someday, Jerusalem. For a start, I am studying the career in gastronomy in this moment in La Salle University. I am the first semester, but when I was child and the people asked me what I will want to be when I grow up, I always say that I want to be a chef. My plans for the future are: first, finish my career in gastronomy so I can travel to places that I always want to meet, like the holy city of Jerusalem, and know how is the gastronomy in there and how it's connected with the culture. Jerusalem is a capital of Israel in the Middle East and is between the Dead Sea and the Mediterranean Sea. During his long story, Jerusalem has been destroyed at least twice, besieged 23 times, captured and recaptured 44 times, and attacked 52 times. Jerusalem is a city full of cultures, tradition, and all about faith. It is a wonderful city. In Jerusalem is the West Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, Al-Aqsa Mosque, and other wonderful things. After I meet Jerusalem, I will return to my country to work so I can save money for my future restaurant. Today I am going to talk about the economy in Mexico and how these have changed over the time and with the help of the pandemic, starting with how was the economy in the past of Mexico and how I remember it. In Mexico, the economy was abundant a few years ago. Even the foreign people came to Mexico for grow up economically and form their careers. Also, in Mexico has been corruption for as long as I can remember. The culture of corruption has been inherited from politician to politician. The economy and the coronavirus. But the economy has changed in Mexico and other countries in a radical way since the beginning of the global pandemic for coronavirus. A lot of establishments have closed because the absence of money and thousands of people have lost their jobs, causing the increase of crime in the country because the same reason that the closure of establishment, absence of money. Industry affected. One of the most affected sectors is the tourism and entertainment industry, caused by the pandemic. The people of Mexico were forced to stay at home to avoid more infection. This caused a loss of income for owners of hotels, restaurants, cinemas, etc., as well singers and theater actors. Reactive commerce. To reactive the commerce, people dedicated to entertainment decided to start giving concerts online. These haven't resulted like the presential events. The sector of health. The health authorities haven't yet given a day to come out of quarantine, and the people who live day by day are more and more desperate, hoping that everything will return to normal or at least a new normal soon. Present perfect and present perfect continuous. Why haven't you ate fat food these days? I haven't been on diet, eating only vegetables and low fat like apples, salads, sugar-free food, without flour, but I miss the fat food. It was so delicious. Why haven't you taken your vitamins? I have been looking other vitamins because the last have me causing me reactions and the doctor said to stop taking them. Why haven't you done your homework? I have been watching my Netflix series, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, all day. It's more interesting day by day. Have you been stressed in the last week and why? Yes, I have been so stressed because this week has been of evaluations and the most teachers have left a lot of homework and I've been studying hard for my test. Why haven't you made the cake that you promised me? I haven't been doing other desserts and experimenting with new ingredients to make it perfect. The airplane is the heaviest transport method in the world. The train is the oldest method of transport introduced 200 years ago in England. The Titanic is the most famous ship in the world. His maiden voyage was from New York to Southampton. The bus is the cheapest massive transport in Mexico City. The bike is the most healthy transport for the planet and is the more used in China and Holland. The electric bike is lighter than the motorcycle and more used in USA than in Mexico. The subway in Mexico City is bigger than the subway in England with one more line. The cops in England are prettier than the cops in Mexico. In Istanbul, the cops are faster than in Mexico. The tuk-tuks in Bangkok are smaller than the regular cops. Hi, today I'm gonna tell of some rules in my house during the quarantine. During the day, every member of the family has to wash their dishes after every meal to avoid being too many at the end of the day. We must stay at home to protect our mom because she is in the population of risk because she has diabetes. Every member of the family is responsible for their homework and housework, and we have to do it before 9 o'clock. When we want to go out, we have to ask for permission, and we only can go out in case of emergency. We must save money for the food and avoid to do unnecessary expenses, only for health. We must are all together for the time of meal to be able to be with family and spend time together. When we hear the seismic alarm, we must leave the house as soon as possible without pushing ourselves and making sure no one is left inside. No one can get drunk or be home late without warning. We can eat food for our health and to avoid heart disease. Only can eat junk food once in a month. I'm going to explain grammar for units 1 and 2. Simple present and continuous. We use the simple present for things that are always true or happen regularly. Structure affirmative. Subject plus verb in present plus complement. Negative. He, she, it plus auxiliary doesn't, verb in base form plus complement. I, you, we, they plus auxiliary don't, verb in base form plus complement. Questions. Does he, she, it, or do I, you, we, they. Example, Ariel doesn't eat fish because he is allergic. Present continuous. Unlike the present simple, we use the present continuous for action in progress at the time of speaking, things that are happening now or around now. They are usually temporary. Structure be plus verb plus ing plus complement. Negative be plus not plus verb plus ing plus complement. Example, I'm doing the dinner for tonight with our friends. She isn't shopping donuts in the moment. Future forms. We have three future forms. The first is going to, for future plans, intention, and predictions. Be going to plus verb in base form. Example, it seems like it's going to rain today. The second is present continuous, for future arrangement. And the third is the will form, for instant decisions, promise, offer, suggestion, predictions, to, and future facts. Will plus verb in base form. Example, we will marry the next year. Present perfect and simple past. Present perfect is used for past experience when we don't say exactly when they happen. We often use ever and never, has, have, plus past participle. Example, Elisa has never been in UK. We use the simple past for finished past actions. Subject plus verb in past simple past plus complement. I cooked pasta last night. Present perfect plus for since and present perfect continuous. Present perfect plus for since with non-action verbs to tell about something that started in the past and is still true now. Example, I have lived in Mexico since I was born. We use the present perfect continuous for continuous or repeated actions that have been happening very recently. Have, has, been, plus verb plus ing. Example, I have been studying in La Salle since August 2020. Explain the grammar for units 3 and 4. Comparative and superlatives, adjectives, and adverbs. Comparing two people, place, things, etc. We use comparative adjectives to compare two people, place, things, etc. Structure. Regular comparatives. Spelling rules. Old, older, big, bigger, easy, easier. Irregular comparative adjectives. Good, better, bad, worse, far, farther. One syllable adjectives ended in ed. Bored, more bored, stressed, more stressed. Comparing two actions. We use adverbs to compare two actions. Regular comparative adverbs. Fast, faster, slowly, more slowly, carefully, more carefully. Irregular comparatives. Well, better, badly, worse. Examples. The bike is lighter than the motorcycle and more used in the USA than in Mexico. The subway in Mexico City is bigger than the subway in England. Superlatives. We use superlatives, adjectives, and adverbs to compare people, things, or action with all of their group. We usually use the before superlatives, but we can also use possessive adjectives like my, their, etc. From superlatives like comparatives, but use est instead of ear and more or less instead do more or less. Example, the train is the oldest method of transport introduced 200 years ago in England. Articles a, and, the, and no article. We use an with singular countable nouns. First time mention a thing or person, in exclamation with what, in expression of frequency. Example, what a beautiful car, it seems very expensive. We use the when there's only one of something, with places in a town and with superlatives. Example, the woman should be all day in the kitchen. Man runs the family business. We don't use an article when we are speaking in general, with some nouns before meal days and months. Example, woman loves flour. Can could be able to. Can is a modal verb, it only has a present form. We use could for a past form. For all other tense and forms, we use able to plus base form. Examples: I can cook the dinner for tonight. Sofia could swim since she was 5. Carlos has been able to dance since he went to the dance academy. Have to, must, and should. Have structure have to, must plus base form. Have to and must are usually used to tell about obligation or something that is necessary to do. Have to is a normal verb. Must is a modal verb. Should and should is not as strong as must. We use it to give advice or an opinion. It's a modal verb. Examples: you shouldn't text it to Mariana. She's sick. You must not use your phone in the kitchen. The students have to put their cell phone in silence during the class. I consider that the activities proposed for this semester were very successful and helped us a lot to learn in this distance modality, putting into practice our knowledge not only of the subject but also about the technology. They also allowed us to be creative and intellectual.